Hello everyone, I'm CZ. This is StarCraft 2. What I have for you here is a Protoss versus Protoss game on Royal Blood LE. And this was given to me on the StarCraft Discord. Well, it was described as being one of the most frustrating games that this individual has had. I didn't pay attention to the individual's name, and I do not know who wins this match. So we shall find out together in this little journey of Protoss versus Protoss, a civil war on an uncivil map. I mean, Royal Blood, the name is Royal Blood, so like I can only assume that there's some history with this map here. It does have Royal Blood. I mean, it could be regal. I mean, we have this like nice carpet set up for the bases, which is kind of neat. And yeah, we have like a nice carpet over here for like this nexus. Do each of these have little fancy carpets? Maybe it should be called Fancy Carpet LE. I don't know. Yeah, we have a couple of gold mineral lines over here, or gold lines over here. More maps. Got a probe that's a little lost, has his head in his corner. Maybe he did something wrong and he's on timeout. Who knows? He can't. Wait, what happened? Oh. Wait, is this walled off and that's why you can't explore? Yeah, that must be it. That must be what's going on. An inability to explore has led this poor probe having to go back to his base empty-handed. Absolutely no scouting has occurred. So, like, this poor probe, not only did he not get any scouting off in the main base, but straight up doesn't even know that a forge is up and that it is a complete wall off. Being a complete wall off, maybe the pylon was put down here just to make sure that this wall off was secure. Which, hey, I mean, if you're going to sacrifice a pylon, that just prevents your enemy from getting any kind of information or any kind of fast attacks. I don't really understand why. Okay, there it is. I was like, why would you create a Z-lot inside the base if there's no wall? Like, there's no point in it blocking. But usually we see like a Z-lot followed up by a Stalker, which gives you just the ability to fight or shoot on the other side of the wall. But hey, here we go. Blue Protoss setting up some pylons here just to make sure to increase some vision. And from here on out, when I declare 21 workers to 23, or army supply of 2 to 0, the first number is going to be towards the red Protoss in the upper right-hand corner, with the second number going to the blue Protoss in the bottom left-hand corner. I think I said that right. Red to the upper right, blue to the bottom left. Yeah, you get the picture. You have eyes, you can see. Let's see here. We got some shit. So we got some pretty heavy defenses already coming up here for the top right. Being a little paranoid, it's fine. Bottom left decides to go economy as soon as possible with a second nexus already starting the mining process. 2 to 16, we got full mining on the first base here. So this blue player is going to be taking the lead with 3 extra workers. And it looks like some stalkers are going to get pumped out here. With no harassment or anything like that, players do have a choice on how they want to start building up their bases, whether they want to build to expand, which is the economy, build for production, or build to attack. And so right now, both armies don't really have a lot going in forms of any kind of attacking forces here. Mostly it's just like usually there's like a balance between like economy and production. Minimal army to be able to defend against some sort of all-in. We have like right here we have like kind of an all-in that went towards the quick tech up towards a Stargate, which here we're going to see oracles, which probably isn't going to get a whole lot done aside from some scouting. Excuse me. With some stalkers over here on the defense and a shield battery, this is pretty well locked down. Although over here we're seeing a warp prism followed up with some immortals, so we might see some immortal play, or like immortal stalker drop, something along those lines. That's going to do some harassment here. We have an oracle. See if we can get any kind of probes down. 2 probes do go down, and an oracle, or not an oracle, but an observer. 5 probes. That's 6 probes. That's not what you want. That balances that. I would say that balances out the worker count, but I wasn't paying attention here. We have 24 to 33 workers. So Team 2, Team Blue, has a worker advantage and is ahead on the economy by about 50%. 1,000 minerals per minute for the red, which pushing up to 2,000 for the blue. So red needs to get some kind of work done if it's going to catch up, but they are not aware of the economic disparity. They are. It does look like they are going to be going into that Skytoss forces though, and I wonder if they're going to do like a fleet beacon or anything like that in order to have like a mix of like just hunker down right here and then do like a mix of carriers with some Tempests play, but we're going to see. Looks like blue decided to, oh, we have a little bit of a overwork here on the gases. So we're gonna move up here. Actually, where did that warp prism go? That's what I want to know. Did it die? No, the warp prism's over here. Oh, warp prism is over here. With, are you gonna do anything? We have a pretty good build-up, 1,600 minerals. I don't know if this person's saving. We have 2 warp gates, so it's not really a great setup to do a mass warp in unless you have warp gates. So the prism's just kind of just chilling here. Let's see. There's a void ray. More void rays are being pumped out, so this might be. So we have a Skytoss focusing on void rays. I cannot speak. An Immortal walking across the map, probably going to get supported here by some whatever reinforcements they decide to go for. It's probably just more Stalkers. Stalkers staying at home. Wise decision, not knowing that this Protoss does seem to be going for like the Skytoss build. More warp gates. Yeah, here we go. Gateways, shield batteries. Interesting like defense here. Probably to deal with any kind of Stalker harassment. Yeah, here's this Immortal. Kind of curious on what's gonna happen here. I expected 2 Immortals to get pumped or to get produced and then moved over here, and then this could basically drop down and try to harass as much as possible. But against Void Rays, this is going to be a problem because, you know, Immortals can't shoot up. Sneaky Nexus for the red Protoss coming up. And here we go. Now we're seeing a lot of money get spent on gateways. Maybe the blue over here decided that was trying to figure out what to build, saved up, and realizing that nothing is really going on, and is now starting to change from the expansion economy with the 3rd base over here to building that production capability instead of building forces. Both sides are pretty much even in 27 to 30 count. I'm going to speed up here just a little bit to kind of push past this little bit of Sim City that's been going on. More economic buildup, more economic buildup. We have carriers that are about to hit the field. Yeah, this is going to be a heavy Skytoss army. If blue's not, this is so many warp gates. That's a lot of warp gates. A 4th Nexus coming up here for the blue Protoss. Man, this. Okay, I'm going to slow it down here. I want to see what both sides know. No scouting. No scouting whatsoever. We have a pretty good force over here thanks to the gateways being able to build these units. But this, I slowed it down just in time. This is the first time blue realizes that they might be in trouble with the Skytoss army. Like, what do you... Like, sure, you have 4 Immortals, but those Immortals aren't going to do anything against these Void Rays or carriers. And and red here has to make a decision. Do you go after the Immortals or do you go after the Zealots? And it's kind of a tough call because both have their... both can dish out a lot of damage, trying to knock out as many of those Zealots as possible. Even though it has a Skytoss that is not being attacked right now, blue is pushing that attack. Might knock this... just not enough to knock this base out, which would have been a pretty heavy economic setback. But round 2, this is a great play here by the blue Protoss to go from having just a generalized build of Immortals, Zealots, and Stalkers to go in for like just that first attack, to now building just straight up Stalkers in order to counter this Skytoss army. And this is rough, because now the Skytoss army is pretty much set in their ways. They're building just as much of a Skytoss as possible, and they do not have the economy to really build back. Here we go. Look at this.
Mineral field depleted.
And this is what all of this production capability is, this warp gate is going for. 46 to 69 workers, nice. Really gives blue an economic ability to pump out a lot of Stalkers. Now it looks like he's going to go for round 2 of Stalkers and then attack again. We're going to go ahead and expand our viewpoint to see as much as possible. Skytoss is having a hard time really building this up, but is set up to have a pretty solid production behind this. Carriers take a long time to build. This hidden base over here is going to be doing this side a lot of favors, but a ground-based army is cheaper and more capable than an Air Force army. That Air Force sacrifices armor and defensive capabilities in order to have that mobility. So now I expected a second round of Stalkers, which I'm going to back up here. We're going to do a little bit of a battle breakdown. Back up just a little bit more. There we go. What do we got? Yeah, so another round of Stalkers for the blue side would have definitely been favorable for blue, behind on the army supply, but most of that army supply is currently being built. And that is, aside from Archons, Protoss does not have a lot of shooting up capability. And since blue is not building any kind of Air Force or anything like that, it's going to be heavily reliant on Stalkers against this Skytoss building. And this person is all in on building that Skytoss. We're going to see a lot of carriers get produced here. And those carriers, not only are they not cheap, but they have to build those little fighters, and I think they're 4 minerals apiece. So that does add up just a little bit. And they come out with, I believe, 3 or 4 fighters, and they have a maximum limit of fighter bays. So this can act in a fight, act as kind of a drain on the red Protoss here, this economy. So this is kind of a tricky situation. What we have here is almost 12 Stalkers. Like I said, another round of Stalkers probably would have done blue a lot more favors here. I'm going to keep it slow just so we can see this little bit of a trickle and really kind of watch what's going on here. Maybe. I'm going to speed up just there we go. Decides to attack. Warp Prism, like, and these guys aren't really doing any kind of damage. Okay, shield batteries are definitely going to help this. And what I mean by that is, blue is coming in to try to knock down as much of the army or the Air Force as possible, which does delay red's ability to press on any kind of harassment or attack, but overall, this is not doing any kind of economy damage. It's not delaying red's ability to produce anything. All it did is kind of bump fists. And red is able to play on the defense, and soon is going to have a number of shield batteries, which is going to make this force difficult to move. The side argument about this, however, is that this heavily clustered position on the red side, like, building shield batteries in the middle here would probably be doing a little bit more of favor, since you'll be able to defend this a little bit better. You'll be able to have more mobility, be able to defend this base once this gets attacked, if that happens in the future. Nothing is defending this base over here. So clustering, as long as you go Skytoss, then the clustering of and preventing ground units from being able to run by is actually helpful. But we have a lot of defenses here, and red is actually pushing their production as much as possible. So this is, yeah, there we go. I was wondering, it's like, shouldn't he build more assimilators in order to really support this gas heavy army? And this is what we have. We already, I mean, units lost wise, we have 16 of the little fighters. That's 16 times 4. But this side here is economically doing better in loss than blue side. Blue side really needs to outmine their opponent. They are 48 to 87 workers, almost definitely double, a little over double red's economy. But if you're trading to your advantage, then that's going to help you out. More stalkers on the way, getting ready to attack once again. And this is basically a little bit more, yeah. So a good amount of stalkers here, but again, this is just going to be butting heads. It's not really going to be getting a lot of work done unless these stalkers try to jump over here or do any kind of actual real damage, such as attack in the economy in any way, shape, or form. This golden fleet here is in the production. This is going to be very terrifying to try to not just destroy here with the help of those shield batteries, which is just going to favor losses towards the side of the Protoss or the red, but so that's funny. There's an immortal here. I wonder why build an immortal. If there's any, I don't think immortals do any extra damage to buildings, but I mean they are heavy hitters, so that immortals probably are going to be helping knock bases down. Let's see. Anything of significance? Oh, man, blue just has a mighty... Looks like blue is going to transition into being able to have a Stargate and is freely expanding. God, 53 workers to 95. Red has been behind for a while now. Blue is definitely like having the advantage with red, basically just really building up that forces and staying on the defensive as much as possible. Both sides do have a unit cap completion of 200 right now, so they don't need to build any more pylons. The longer blue gives red the time to build up, the worse it's going to look for red. But blue is building up a huge amount of stalkers, so this is... I'm really curious about what this fight's going to look like here. I'm just going to speed forward because it looks like both sides are going to just happily respect each other's boundaries and just... Alright. Mass. So here's the fight. And fighting away from these shield batteries that are set up. Not really sure what the decision was to build here, especially since red has seen stalkers coming in from this direction. What the thinking there is. Red could have, like that. This base seems like it's a little bit better, but if you want to keep this a secret, there you go. That's just talking macro style of play. We have a lot of carriers. 7 carriers. Yeah, we have 7 carriers right now. 56 fighters going against 42 stalkers, which seems to be the main army. So go ahead and place your bets. Right now, who do you think is going to win this little skirmish? I don't know how long this game goes on for. I'm not putting that up yet because I want to keep this as much as a surprise. But here's the battle. Stalkers coming in, being able to really do a lot of damage. I wonder if they have... Yeah. Real quick. Okay, so... Oh, that hurts. So red appears to have +1 for air weapons. Those fighters get a little bit of a bonus because they're +1. They have two weapons instead of 1. So that's just like really just intensifies that. Blue really needs to do some upgrades here, shield upgrades or anything in order to last longer against this onslaught. Both sides need to like start really producing upgrades, and blue can. Blue has a forge. Where's your forge? Oh, never mind. Blue can't. Blue cannot be doing upgrades right now. I'm not sure why. That would have helped. That would that's basically a -1 to damage. So anyway, here's the fight. Blue capable of really focus firing as much as possible, ignoring the fighters. Let's see here. Not a whole lot going down. Smart move on the red part in order to basically fight and attack these stalkers and then lure them into these shield batteries. Really smart move that really puts these stalkers at a disadvantage, and as well as it makes the army purposeful. It makes the army the target instead of this valuable economy that's going on right here, because that's exactly what this is. This economy is valuable. It is arguably more valuable than these forces right here. And plus, the shield batteries really defended strongly here. Oh man, that was tough. That was painful. Look at that. So red is trading 3 times. Yeah, you just appreciate this. Yeah. You can really... How many carriers have gone down so far? 4 carriers have gone down. 90 stalkers. Upgrades matter. We have observers here. I'm not sure why you really need observers. If you're just gonna like just keep them there, but put them out on the map. Like, do something with them. Red is having a hard time. See right here, and this is probably what's going on, is that the carriers are rebuilding. And so, oh, never mind. I spoke about that too soon. Blue sides are trying to recover that, but here, blue not only has been trading well in terms of like making blue lose 3 times more than red, but now blue has this very open attack pattern to attack the economy without consequence. There's no shield batteries here, nothing's keeping this alive, there's no stalkers here on reserve to be able to threaten these things. Carriers are coming up, but that's going to take a long time, and in fact, so now the next, it's just attack the economy, attack the production. We do have stalkers coming out here, but they are unshielded, they don't have any defenses, they have nothing else to back up on. We only have 5 carriers, but that's all that's needed against this really... That was an impressive economy here. Red is coming through here. Red has free reign. And red is on a ticking time bomb. Oh wow, sees that there are carriers being built here. This is very slow attack decisions on attacking critical infrastructure by the red forces. And that delay is giving red or blue enough time to build up carriers and try to fight this off. Although these carriers are not going to have the fighter capacity compared to the red, and yeah, the blue really needed to back off there and try to fight over the stalkers as much as possible, so the stalkers can get as much work done attacking both the fighters and the carriers. Very, very difficult time for blue. This is a very hard fought battle right here. And now that red sees what's going on, yep, there it is. Victory is called on the red side. Good game. Definitely a lot of lessons learned here. If for just in general, blue had map control. They could have expanded to more bases without getting attacked. Red has observers that just aren't doing anything, that could have been out here scouting and seeing what's going on. Red did a fantastic job using those shield batteries to their advantage, like luring those stalkers away. Just amazing job doing that. And it worked because blue decided to attack those carriers as much as possible, and that, I don't know if it was obstructed view or blue just wasn't aware of it, but backing off, forcing the carriers to attack outside of the shield battery this was being built, and attacking like these, especially the space here, would have knocked out red's economy just a little bit. And in fact, going in and just picking with those stalkers to lure the carriers out as much as possible would have been a little probably preferred, as well as morphing in as many stalkers as possible over here to attack the production line that's going on. A lack of scouting meant that red was able to have this hidden base over here, building up as much economy as possible, and blue had the map control. One of the few times I've actually seen the underdog, the economic underdog, really win a game, and that we see the evidence right here. You know, numbers don't really lie, and again, that was from this choke point that blue had to fight through in order to do any kind of meaningful damage, as well as blue really fighting an uphill battle, not doing themselves any favors, attacking carriers and forces over like triple shield batteries. That's rough, and not doing any kind of meaningful damage. When red finally did attack, I mean, it took out a Nexus with probes and was trying to transition into carriers. And what you're doing there is there's not really a whole lot of counterplay. What you have is you're fighting the same forces with the same forces. Had Blue have transitioned sooner, Blue would have had more carriers to fight with and still have that economic lead, but just didn't have it. Didn't have it soon enough. Stalkers would have been great in containing this, for sure, by forcing carriers to leave the area and basically make Stalkers use them defensively to hold on to areas and prevent red from being able to expand as you expanded, which would have been good. And picking that up would have been helpful. So yeah, that's what I got for you today. This was a fantastic attempt at using Stalkers, but a great defensive play by the Protoss building up that golden fleet and really maximizing those defensive forces.